Tell Mays. Dontel Mays is actually pretty young, but he looks like he's 40 years old. Like he looks like he's been in the UFC for his entire career. Actually, let's go through their records. Thomas Petersen lost to um, the GOAT, Shamil Gaziev. He lost to Shamil Gaziev in the first round via TKO. He beat Muhammad Usman via unanimous decision, and he lost to Jamal Pokes via decision, unanimous decision. I mean, that's a pretty decent roster to be fighting in your first three fights. So he is 2-1 in his last three in the UFC. I mean, he's still pretty new in the UFC, but I feel like he's going to continue to improve. Okay, what am I saying? I don't know if he's going to continue to improve, but I think fighting Jamal Pokes, even though people trash Jamal Pokes, Jamal Pokes is not the like that much of a trash can. He is a pretty decent unranked heavyweight. Is he even ranked? Like, is Jamal Pokes ranked? I don't know. But still, I don't think, I wouldn't consider Jamal Pokes a trash can. Maybe Muhammad Usman, but Muhammad Usman also has had a couple of UFC wins. So I also wouldn't consider him too much of a trash can. Um, and losing to Shamil Gaziev, I mean, it's not too bad in my opinion. So I mean, those are his three losses. I mean, two losses and one win. Let's look at Dontel Mays. Dontel Mays lost via submission in his last fight to Walker. Um, what do you call him? Walter Walker. Yes, he lost to Walter Walker in the first round via submission. Before that, he lost the decision to Shamil Gaziev, which is a little bit worrying because if you do MMA maths, you're like, okay, Dontel Mays was able to go to a decision. Even if he lost, he was able to go to a decision with Shamil Gaziev, and Thomas Petersen couldn't go to a decision with Shamil Gaziev. So if you're doing MMA maths, that means um, um, Dontel Mays might get it that because he was able to go to a decision with with Shamil Gaziev, and Thomas Petersen couldn't go to a decision with Shamil Gaziev. That's MMA maths, right? Um, but I don't agree with that. But it's possible, the fight is actually pretty close. Um, and then before that, the Dontel Mays beat Machado. What's his full name? Let me actually check his full name. Caio Machado. Yes, he beat Caio Machado. Before that, he lost to Nascimento. Before that, he knocked out Andrei Arlovsky. Before that, he lost to Sakai. Before that, he lost to Abdel Wahab. I think there was a bit of a tricky situation there. Before that, he beat Parisian. Before that, he beat Martinez. I don't even think the guy is in the UFC anymore. Platinum MMA show. Yo, what up, man? Welcome to the stream, man. Before that, and then in his first fight, he fought Cyril Gahn, Nascimento. I mean, he's had like a pretty decent UFC career, which is honestly worrying. I'm not gonna lie, especially when you consider the fact that Thomas Peterson has had three fights in the UFC, lost two of them, and won one of them. I don't know, man. I'm worried. I'm not gonna lie. My subscribers and I picked Thomas Peterson. Um, and Dontel Mays is going to have a massive reach advantage. I think Dontel Mays has an 81%, or rather an 81-inch reach, whereas Thomas Peterson has a 74-inch reach, right? So I can see a situation where Dontel Mays has the striking advantage purely because of the reach, because like his reach advantage is like a 7-inch reach advantage, which is insane in my opinion. To have such a reach advantage, so I guess maybe that's why Dontel Mays was able to go to a decision with Shamil Gaziev. Ricky Z, greetings from Monaco. Welcome to the stream, man. Welcome to the stream. So Shamil Gaziev, I think now it makes sense why Dontel Mays was able to go to a decision with what do you call him? Shamil Gaziev, because like to have a 7 inch reach or advantage in the heavyweight division, that's sick. It also goes to show that the Thomas Peterson probably should be trying to cut down to maybe welterweight. I mean, not welterweight, maybe light heavyweight or even middleweight. Because it clearly seems like he's pretty undersized for the division. Um, so yeah, as far as finishing abilities, I feel like Thomas Peterson is the finisher in this particular fight. If anyone is going to get the finish, I would assume it's probably going to be Thomas Peterson, unless somehow Dontel Mays has been improving significantly. As far as volume, I think Thomas Peterson is going to be better. He throws a little bit more than Dontel Mays. Um, Defensively, I think both of them are pretty decent defensively, but I'd say a small advantage to Dontel Mays, and I think it has a lot to do with his reach. So on the feed, in all honesty, I don't know. It'll probably be close on the feed purely because Dontel Mays has a 7 inch reach advantage over Thomas Peterson. And yet, on the other hand, Thomas Peterson throws a lot of volume, and both of them, in my opinion, are pretty defensively good. Um, I feel like Thomas Peterson is more of a finisher. If anyone, but both of them have pretty decent amount of, or rather percentage of knockouts. So I think both of them could land the knockouts. I'm just particularly worried about the reach that Dontel Mays has on the feet. But if the fight goes to the ground, I mean, Thomas Peterson is probably going to be dominant. Not even probably. I think Thomas Peterson is going to be dominant. He shoots significantly more takedowns. I think Thomas Peterson is better defensively. And the nice thing about this particular fight is Dontel Mays has a horrible takedown defense, and Thomas Peterson is probably going to get the takedown, especially at heavyweight. A lot of these heavyweights don't work on their um, martial arts. They don't work on their wrestling. They don't work on anything except maybe training camp. They throw punches and a couple of things. Only top level MMA, or rather heavyweights, have some level of skill, like especially from top 10 up until like number one or up until the champion. That's where there's a little bit of skill, or rather a lot of skill, as the ranks go up. But from 11 going down, there isn't a lot of skill in the heavyweight division. So, in all honesty, my breakdown and my analysis of this particular fight, I think my subscribers picked Dontel Mays, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think they picked Dontel Mays, but you can check the subscribers picks on the shorts section or even the video section of the channel. So my final analysis of the fight, and how I think it's going to play out, I think on the feed it's going to be close. Dontel Mays has a 7 inch reach advantage. I think both Thomas Peterson and Dontel Mays are pretty decent defensively, as far as striking defense. Both of them have knockout abilities. Um, but I think Thomas Peterson throws a little bit more, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to actually predict who's going to have the advantage on the feet in this particular fight. But on the ground, Dontel Mays has a horrible takedown defense. Thomas Peterson, I think, is going to be significantly better offensively and defensively as far as the grappling goes. So wherever the fight goes, or rather on the ground specifically, I think Thomas Peterson is going to have a massive advantage. The only way for Dontel Mays to actually have a shot at winning this fight is to try and keep the fight on the feet, or if he somehow lands a knockout early somehow, which I don't know if it's going to happen because I think Thomas Peterson is also pretty decent defensively. So I don't know. I think Dante Mays has horrible takedown defense. So The only way Dontel Mays actually wins this fight is if he keeps it on the feet, and he's not going to be able to because he has horrible takedown defense. So that's why I went with Thomas Peterson. So yeah, that concludes the breakdowns for today. If you want to see all my breakdowns, I'm only left with one fight to break down, which is the opener of the card, Juliana Miller or something like that, and Ivana Petrovic, which I'm going to break down tomorrow. If you want to watch all the breakdowns that I've already done, click on the channel, go to the live section of the channel. You'll find all my predictions. You'll find all my breakdowns. What up, Twizzy? You just found me finishing this particular breakdown. I'm about to conclude, man. Welcome to the stream, by the way. So yeah, I'm done for today. You can always rewatch these streams. Go to the live section of the channel. So yeah, in conclusion, I'm going with Thomas Peterson. I think my subscribers picked Dontel Mays, and I think I just justified why I think Thomas Peterson is going to win. Dontel Mays has horrible takedown defense. Thomas Peterson has shoots a lot of takedowns. Not a lot, but for heavyweight, he shoots a lot of takedowns. I think it's going to give him an advantage. ASAP Pod, does your autism help you with your prediction? I have autism? I don't have autism. Anyway, so Twizy Rich, I thought Peterson would beat Gaziev, then boom. You should also remember that to be honest, my reliance on on Thomas Peterson winning is the fact that Dontel Mays has horrible takedown defense, right? Horrible takedown defense. Shamil Gaziev, let me actually check Shamil Gaziev. Let's actually, I mean, I'm already done with predictions, so maybe let's break this one down a little bit further. Let's check Shamil Gaziev and see how that one. Um, Let me see how Shamil Gaziev's performances. I feel like Shamil Gaziev has a bit of a better takedown defense than what do you call him? Yeah, that's the difference, right? The difference for me is takedown defense in this particular fight. Shamil Gaziev has good takedown defense, and that's why he was able to keep the fight on the feet, and that's where Gaziev shines, right? With his striking, that's where Gaziev shines, and that's why he has like nine knockouts in the first round. That's where Shamil Gaziev shines. So and let me actually go a little bit deeper into the the Gaziev the Gaziev fight. So Gaziev let me see how much he throws. I mean, Gaziev is pretty good, man. Like I know for a heavyweight. This is me saying he's pretty good for a heavyweight. So I don't think a loss to Shamil Gaziev is too bad. I mean, Gaziev is pretty defensively sound. Gaziev has okay, not that much of a good output. But in all honesty, I think Gaziev mainly won because of his good takedown defense. Whereas Dontel Mays has horrible takedown defense, so that's going to actually play in Thomas Peterson's advantage. So I'm picking Peterson too, but I swear if he eats one shot and gives up again, I'm done with Peterson. I hear you, man. Gaziev did get taken down. I think he just trains at high level grappling camp, so he got up and found the finish. Yeah, I honestly agree. That's why I say even if for me, what I mean by takedown defense is I don't mean only your ability to avoid getting taken down. I also mean your ability to get to get back up once you've been taken down. And I think Shamil Gaziev has good takedown defense. Dontel Mace has horrible takedown defense, and I think that's where Thomas Petersen is going to win the fight. So yeah, this concludes my breakdowns. You can watch all my predictions on the live section of the channel. Until next time, deuces.